Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, June 25th. I am Jill and I am checking in this morning. I haven't checked in since last week. As you know, I mentioned that I was going to New York to speak at the Upgrade You conference in New York, thanks to Adrian Crutch and Dr. Kenneth Crutch. So I did that on Saturday, and then I was supposed to come back on Saturday because my niece's 21st birthday bash at the National Harbor was on Sunday, but I didn't make it back. Usually when God redirects your path, you kind of tend to obey, and you want to obey and go in the direction that He is ordering your steps. So I end up staying, and I end up having some wonderful strategy sessions, helping those who I came in contact with on Saturday to help them get their businesses and their passions and purposes up and rolling. So that's what I did. So, of course, when I came back home on Monday, I was so tired. As you know, I do get Monday blues. But I did come back and I was tired. Later that afternoon on Monday, and actually I forgot to mention, let me mention this. I actually came back to a media frenzy. One of my clients, who's very high profile, something leaked to the media, and so I was dealing with that all day on Monday. So between being so tired from traveling and dealing with my clients, handling what they've hired me to do, and then just trying to check in with some personal, I have to always check in with my family, my friends, and that sort of thing. So, so my Monday was that. But I was having a conversation. I wanted to check in because I was having this conversation with a girlfriend of mine. I think it was Monday and Tuesday. I kind of went over into Monday and Tuesday. But she was one of my girlfriends. She's super talented, but she was saying she was lacking motivation. She is a professional, and she's one of those professionals that, she's gotten into her profession, but what she does professionally is really not her passion. And so, she was just saying how she just don't have motivation. She's just not motivated. In fact, she was just telling me that over the last week or so, like, she could not get out the bed. Like, she called into work and she just laid in the bed like all day, just could not get out of the bed, feeling depressed, feeling hopeless, feeling like, she's lost and unfulfilled and just defeated. And so what I had to explain to her, because, I think sometimes people look at me and say, okay, well, Jill, she got this thing figured out. Let me just be the first to say this, that I have those days where I cannot get out the bed. I mean, I literally, and Monday was one of those days, but I had to get out the bed because of, dealing with my client, the pressing issue. But I've had those days when I cannot get out the bed. Like, it's more than just wanting to sleep late. Sometimes, I just want to stay in the bed all day. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I have been just recently in the last couple of weeks, because of my travel schedule has been so intense, I could not get out the bed to take a shower. I didn't want to, it was a task to even cook me something to eat. And so days like that, I have stayed in the bed and ordered a pizza, and tried to figure it out and do over it the next day. But there's a difference in those two. Not to say that I'm better or anybody else is better that is driven, but I think that there's a difference. For one, when we have those days where we are just so tired, that lack of motivation, I believe that that's when, our mind, our body, and our spirit are not in alignment, because we are physical beings. Sometimes, our body rules. And when we are exhausted and we're tired, I'm the first to say I'll talk my mind into just saying, stop, halt. And so, sometimes I could feel my spirit man encouraging me, and then my mind said, no, girl, rest. It's like two different things, two different people on my shoulder, like a devil and an angel. And so sometimes I get to the point where, I don't have the motivation because I'm so physically drained. So that's one thing. That's one, that comes with, I think, just being human. And, that's why a lot of people do yoga. That's why a lot of people, I try to meditate in the morning. I do pray every single morning before I check email, before I get out the bed, before whatever. I pray, and then I sit there, I lay there a while and listen to God for answers and to speak to me. So, but that's why a lot of people do meditation because they have to get their mind, their body, and their spirit back into alignment. However, there are others of us who don't have motivation because they rely on their motivation from external sources. That's people, places, and things. And if you do that, you are going to go up and down. You're going to have those days where you just don't want to get out the bed, and they're going to last a long, long time. It doesn't matter if your body saying get up, and if the spirit is saying get up, there's something in your mind that's saying you're worthless. God doesn't love you. You're going to have those thoughts that's going to come in and try to tear you down and to destroy you because I heard a comedian say, I think it was Cat Williams. He said, magazines, because a lot of people get their motivation from looking through a magazine, which is an external source. But I heard a comedian, Cat Williams, he said one time, he said, magazines are designed to let you know that you ain't SHIT, and so if you're looking for external sources to motivate you, you got to also know that there are external sources out there to destroy you. And so you cannot rely on external sources. So if you're one of those people, because I've been there, done that, where you're looking at everybody's Facebook page or you're looking at everybody's website and trying to, be inspired and trying to get your mojo and I can do this, they did it, so I can do it. Let me just clue you in on some things. There are 3 ways that you can be motivated, and I say 3 do's that you must do to remain motivated and driven from day to day. Okay, so listen up. One of the things is that you must know your purpose, and I talked about this at the conference over the weekend. Contrary to popular belief, we do, as Christians, all have the same purpose. Our purpose is to spread the good news of hope, healing, and deliverance. So it doesn't matter if we're a football player, if we're a dancer, if we're a tennis player, if we're a nurse, if we're a doctor. As believers, we all have the same purpose, to spread and to share hope. The second thing is that we all have to know our position. And so our position is basically combined, and I also talked about this over the weekend, it's combined with our passion and our experience. If you don't have a passion that is related to a personal before and after experience, it's going to be off. You're going to always question what you're supposed to do. So if you have a passion that's connected to a purpose, a passion that's connected to experience, you are going to be driven. For instance, let me give you an example. If you have a passion for empowering women, then more than likely you could probably have had an experience where maybe you were an abandoned woman who found deliverance. Maybe you were a battered woman. Maybe you were in an abusive relationship and got out. Whatever that before and after story is that you have, and if it's attached to your passion, then that will help to drive you. If you don't have those components, you're going to always question your quote-unquote purpose. You're going to always question it. So you definitely want to know your position. The third thing, you just got to just be rooted in the Word of God. I told my girlfriend the other day, you need to pick 5 scriptures that's going to anchor you. There are many, many times. I don't have a lot of Facebook followers. I don't have a lot of Twitter followers. And Instagram, I think I have 3. And, I just don't. And so you cannot measure your worth on, who's following you and who's not, in numbers and stats. No, you just can't just totally rely on that. So one of my anchor scriptures is, do not despise small beginnings. I mean, that's just one of the scriptures that I am rooted in. That's in Zechariah, I believe. And so you just got to get 5 scriptures. I have many. I'm a Deuteronomy 28:2 girl. Blessings. I believe that blessings will chase me down if I follow God. If I follow and believe His word. That's in Deuteronomy 28. That I remind myself of that every single day. Then I'm a 2 Corinthians girl. When I am weak, He is strong. So when I have those days where I can't get out the bed, I know that God is still working. He's working on my behalf. And so, you've got to have those 5 scriptures that anchor you. So, I just want to motivate you today. Don't just lean on my motivation. You've got to be motivated in the inside, because that's what's going to really keep you going from day to day. So it is knowing your purpose, knowing your position, and just being rooted in the Word of God. All right. So I hope this Wednesday serves you well. It's hot in the DMV, but I'm going to still try to go out and get my workout on after I do put in a couple of hours of work here. So God bless, and thank you as always for checking in. Bye-bye.